What if the next big shift in European power doesn't come from tanks or troops? Right now, Poland is building something that could make Russian pilots think twice before even approaching its borders. A modern shield of steel and radar so advanced, some are calling it Europe's own Iron Dome. But what exactly is Poland doing? And could it really crush Russian air power? So how did Poland suddenly become the talk of NATO's eastern flank? It all started with one decisive moment, a realization that the future of Europe's security might not be written in treaties or speeches, but in technology. Poland looked east, saw the rising threat from Russia's aggression, and made a choice to never again depend solely on others for its protection. That decision kicked off one of the biggest military modernization programs in Europe's history. Billions of dollars began flowing into advanced systems, the kind once reserved only for the biggest global powers. Poland signed deals for American-made Patriot missile batteries, British CAM launchers, and cutting-edge F-35 stealth fighters. These aren't just flashy toys, they form the backbone of a brand new air defense structure, one that can spot, track, and destroy nearly anything that enters Polish airspace, from small kamikaze drones to hypersonic missiles streaking through the stratosphere. Think of it like building a fortress in the sky, but smarter. At the outer edge, the long-range Patriots scan hundreds of kilometers ahead, locking onto distant threats long before they get close. In the middle, medium-range systems like the CAMM and CAMMER wait like silent guardians, ready to strike fast-moving jets or missiles. Down low, short-range units handle anything that slips through, low-flying drones, rockets, or helicopters. And hovering above it all, Poland's fleet of F-35s provides the eyes and ears, sharing real-time data from the sky straight into the defense network below. Every radar, every launcher, every jet speaks the same digital language. They feed each other information. A radar in one city can guide a missile launch in another. It's not just defense anymore. It's an ecosystem, a living, breathing digital shield that sees threats long before they reach the border. And the ripple effects are already being felt. NATO commanders call it a game changer for the alliance's eastern flank. With Poland's shield rising, the line of defense no longer stops at Germany. It stretches all the way to the edge of Belarus and Ukraine. Neighboring countries like Lithuania, Slovakia, and Romania suddenly find themselves better protected, their own defenses strengthened by Poland's expanding radar coverage and early warning systems. Even inside NATO headquarters, the mood has shifted. Poland, once viewed as a frontline state in need of protection, is now becoming the protector. Its military spending rivals that of major Western nations, and its strategy is inspiring others to follow suit. Warsaw isn't just defending itself anymore. It's stepping into the role of regional leader, carrying the shield for all of Europe's east. So now, as the new missile sites rise and the first F-35s touch down on Polish runways, a quiet transformation is underway. The message is clear. This is no longer the Poland of the past. This is a nation turning itself into Europe's forward fortress, one radar ping at a time. But what exactly is Poland defending against? Russia's air force is still one of the largest in the world. Thousands of aircraft, from aging Cold War fighters to advanced Su-35s and bombers that can fire cruise missiles across continents. On paper, it looks unstoppable. But look closer, and the cracks start to show. Many Russian jets rely on older radar systems and lack precision-guided munitions that Western aircraft use. Maintenance has become a serious issue, especially after heavy combat losses in recent conflicts. Some planes are being patched together with parts from retired aircraft, and pilot training hours have dropped. Recent battles have shown just how vulnerable these jets can be when facing modern air defenses. Dozens of Russian aircraft have been shot down by smaller systems, the same kind Poland is now buying, only newer and smarter. The game has changed. Numbers matter less when your opponent can see you before you even know they're there. So what happens if these two forces, Poland's new defenses and Russia's air power, actually face off? Picture this. Russian bombers launch cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away. Poland's long-range radar picks them up instantly, feeding the data to Patriot launchers that intercept them mid-air. A swarm of smaller drones tries to sneak in low, but short-range CAMM systems track and destroy them before they reach city airspace. And overhead, F-35 stealth fighters silently hunt for the source of the attack. This isn't science fiction. It's the kind of real-world defense scenario Poland is now training for. The edge lies in technology. Advanced radar can detect even stealth aircraft, while electronic warfare systems jam enemy targeting. Every missile fired is guided by AI-assisted tracking, improving accuracy and speed. Experts say if Poland's systems perform as designed, they could neutralize most Russian air assaults before they cause serious damage. It's not about winning dogfights, it's about making sure the fight never reaches Polish skies. But could this powerful defense system also raise the stakes? Absolutely. And that's where things get complicated. The stronger Poland's shield becomes, the harder it is for Russia to intimidate its neighbors. And that single shift changes everything. For decades, Moscow relied on its air power to project dominance across Eastern Europe, buzzing borders, staging flyovers, and reminding everyone just how close its reach could be. But when your jets risk being tracked, targeted, or taken down before they even cross the line, that sense of control begins to fade. Poland's expanding air defense is doing more than closing its skies. It's redrawing the mental map of Eastern Europe. Suddenly, those once vulnerable Baltic states, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, find themselves under an invisible umbrella of security. Russian bombers that once roamed freely over the Baltic Sea now face a wall of radar coverage and rapid response interceptors. For NATO, this isn't just defense, it's deterrence in motion. The message is clear. Any threat from the east will meet an answer long before it reaches a city, a base, or a border. But deterrence, as history always reminds us, can be a double-edged sword. The stronger the shield, the higher the tension. When one side builds walls, the other looks for ways around them. And in this delicate region, where borders meet within minutes of flight time, even a single misunderstanding could spark chaos. Wait a second. If you are new to this channel and you like what you see and hear, please subscribe, like, and join the conversation below. If you're not convinced yet, subscribe and tell us how we can earn that click. We're all about getting better together. Let's move on. Imagine it, a Russian jet flying a little too close to the Polish border on a routine patrol. Alarms sound, missiles are readied, radar locks on. Was it a provocation or a mistake? One false signal, one nervous commander, and suddenly the skies could erupt before anyone has time to think. Or picture a missile test launched from Russian territory, its trajectory brushing the edge of NATO airspace. To Warsaw's defense network, it could look like the start of an attack. Within seconds, interceptors might launch in response, and what began as a test could turn into a full-blown international crisis. This is the razor's edge Poland now walks. Its air defense system doesn't just protect its land, it changes the entire rhythm of the region. Every radar pulse, every heat signature, every locked target sends a message across the border. We see you, we're ready, and that message reverberates far beyond Warsaw. In Moscow, it fuels debate. Does NATO's buildup on its doorstep threaten Russia's security, or simply expose its limits? In Brussels, it forces careful planning, how to keep deterrence from tipping into confrontation. In the skies above Europe, it creates a new normal, one where every flight, every launch, every maneuver carries the weight of global consequence. Poland's shield isn't just a wall, it's a statement. It says that the skies over Eastern Europe are no longer open ground. They are watched, guarded, and contested. And in that tension lies the thin line between peace maintained and peace tested. So where does Poland go from here? Buying the systems is just the beginning. The real strength comes from integration, linking every radar, jet, and missile battery into NATO's shared defense grid. Polish crews are training with American and British specialists, learning to react faster and coordinate seamlessly. And as threats evolve, so will the defense. Hypersonic missiles, which travel 5 times the speed of sound, are already forcing new upgrades. Drone swarms, cheap, fast, and hard to hit, are becoming the next big challenge. Poland knows the race never ends. Staying safe means staying ahead. Step by step, Poland is turning itself into a frontline fortress, not to start a war, but to make sure one never begins. But here's the real question. Could Poland's rise change the very shape of Europe's defense forever? It's starting to look that way. For years, Poland was seen as the gap between NATO's strength and Russia's reach, a buffer zone that stood watch but rarely led. Today, that perception is being rewritten. Poland is no longer just holding the line. It's building it, stronger, smarter, and more impenetrable than ever before. Every new radar tower, every missile launcher, every stealth fighter that joins the Polish arsenal sends the same message. This is a country preparing not for yesterday's wars, but for tomorrow's threats. Its skies are now alive with advanced sensors scanning hundreds of miles in every direction. Invisible networks link air bases, command centers, and NATO satellites into one unified grid, a living, breathing shield stretching across Eastern Europe. But Poland's real power doesn't lie only in technology. It's in the mindset shift, from defense to deterrence. The Polish military has learned from the lessons of modern conflicts. Wars are won by those who see first, act faster, and think ahead. Training exercises with the US and Britain now run year-round. Simulated attacks test not just weapons, but coordination. How fast can a radar signal trigger a missile launch? How seamlessly can an F-35 feed data to a ground battery? Every test brings them closer to perfection. And beyond the hardware and drills lies something deeper: trust. Trust between nations that once stood divided by history. Poland's rise has sparked a new kind of cooperation within NATO. Information once guarded closely is now shared instantly. Air defense grids are synchronized across borders. If a Russian jet takes off near Kaliningrad, Poland's radar might be the first to spot it, but Germany or Norway could be the first to respond. That's the power of integration. No one fights alone anymore. Yet, with great capability comes great tension. Moscow is watching these developments with growing unease. To them, every Patriot battery on Polish soil looks like a wall closing in. Every F-35 that takes off from a Polish runway is a reminder that NATO's reach is closer than ever. The stronger Poland's defenses become, the more carefully Russia must think before it acts. But also, the more tempted it might be to test that strength. It's a dangerous balance. Power as both protection and provocation. And in that balance, Poland now plays the starring role. Its decisions, what it builds, what it shares, what it's willing to defend, could shape not just its own safety but the future of European security as a whole. So now, as radar stations hum quietly across the Polish countryside and stealth fighters glide through the night sky, one thought echoes louder than the rest. Has Poland's shield made Europe safer? Or simply push the next great contest higher into the clouds? And so, as the radar dishes keep turning and missiles rest quietly in their launchers, Europe stands at a crossroads. Poland's new air defense network is more than a shield. It's a signal. A signal that small nations no longer wait for help. They build their own protection. A signal that technology can turn the tide of power without a single shot being fired. But every shield casts a shadow. The stronger this wall becomes, the more pressure builds on the other side. Russia tests its limits, NATO tightens its unity, and somewhere between them, the skies grow tense, electric, uncertain. So what happens next? Will Poland's new fortress truly guarantee peace? Or will it spark a new kind of arms race in the skies above Europe? Can deterrence keep the peace forever? Or does every great defense eventually invite a challenge? And perhaps the hardest question of all, when everyone can see the storm coming, who will have the courage to keep the skies calm? Thanks for making it this far. It means you like what we do here at Euro Bulletin. We will appreciate if you took 5 seconds to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on your views regarding the topic. See you tomorrow for another video.